So Ganga Bhushan sir has also joined, so we
Okay.
can start now. Shipra.
Yes. Okay. So,
Hello. Am I audible? Yeah.
Yes,
you are,
yes,
sir.
sir. Thank
Yeah.
you, sir. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, Agrawal sir. Good morning.
Good
Very
morning,
much.
good morning, and welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning
Thank
to
you, sir.
Professor Yadav, sir, and thank you for joining us and sparing some time for this program. Thank you, sir.
So I guess we can begin with our session today.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So on this note, welcome everyone. Welcome to this lovely afternoon and the very first day, the inaugural session of the 2-week-long refresher course and faculty development program on advanced research methodology, tools and techniques. We welcome our valued dignitaries, Professor D.S. Yadav, Professor Ganga Bhushan, Dr. S.P. Agarwal, the participants, colleagues, friends, and everyone who is connected with us right now and watching this live broadcast. Continuing in our endeavor to make a valuable addition to the changing learning environment, the program has been organized by Teaching Learning Center, Ramanujan College, in collaboration with Assam University, Silchar, Assam, under the much coveted Ministry of Education's Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya National Mission on Teachers and Teaching. So to begin with the formal proceedings, may I please request Dr. S.P. Agarwal, Director, TLC Ramanujan College, and our principal to welcome the dignitaries and deliver his address.
Thank you, Shipra. Thank you very much. Good afternoon and welcome to all our dignitaries who are present with us, especially Professor Yadav and Professor Ganga Bhushan. Our chief guest today, Professor D.S. Yadav, who is a computer scientist and working with the Institute of Engineers and Technology, Lucknow. Our special guest, Professor Ganga Bhushan, who is head of the Department Social Work and a social scientist from Assam University, Silchar, which happens to be our collaborator in this program. My colleague, Dr. Ashish, Dr. Nikhil, and our esteemed participants, who has joined us in large numbers, I believe around 2,000, which is a great news. And once again, welcome to this 2-week faculty development program refresher course on advanced research methodology on behalf of Teaching Learning Center and Ramanujan College. Friends, briefly about the institution, Delhi, Ramanujan College is a Delhi University maintained college having about 3,000 students and 100 faculty members, and a very lively institution upcoming very fast in recent years. We are not only into this trainings, but we do a lot of research activities, and our faculty has done a lot of Scopus publications in last few years. Also, we are very active in student activities, and we have some centers, basically about 6 centers of advanced research in the college, to name a few: Center for Ethics and Values, Center for Applied Mathematics, and Center for Socio-Vision, and Center for Robotics and Artificial Intelligence. So with this background, let me briefly speak on these training programs, because we are Teaching Learning Center from Ministry of Education under the flagship scheme of Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya National Mission for Teachers and Teaching. Friends, the word in itself has so much meaning. The mission, national mission. So our mission is to train teachers from all over the country and to reach the unreached. And you will be glad to know that in last 1 year, rather I should say in 10 months, during this COVID-19, we have trained 100,000 teachers from all over the country, which is one of the achievement, and this is one of the best happening center of the Ministry of Education. Now, the various areas in which we train teachers are varied, not only in discipline centric, but mainly in ICT, MOOCs, and in research. And this program is on advanced research methodology. Now, why we are training teachers on research? Well, friends, basically our idea is that every teacher associated with higher education must do the good quality publications. They must do the research as well as innovate, which is of use to the society. Now, basically what exactly in research, I'm not a expert in this field, but briefly, I can say that basically research means that you must have a innovative idea. That is first thing. Second thing is you must in order to explain your idea, you must do the literature review, you must do the historical research, you must do what is happening in that area, and then you find out the methodology to continue your research, or we call them research tools, which you are going to learn today. And then you accordingly do the data collection and its analysis, and the main thing is the interpretation of your data. And your research should be meaningful, which means that it should be useful to the society, useful to the other researchers, useful to the academic world. And if it is possible, the innovation should be useful for commercial purposes also. Here I would like to give you an example, like the COVID-19 vaccine AstraZeneca, which has been developed by Oxford experts. And don't think these were all medical experts. They were from different fields, and they have done this. And this is a innovation for humanity in the world. So what I'm trying to say, if you study the background of the best universities in the world, whether it is Harvard, Oxford, or Stanford, you will see that they have done wonderful innovations and developed the areas around them, and they have done a lot of economic growth around them. So that is the kind of innovation we need in India. Why Delhi University, why Lucknow University, why Assam University cannot do those things, which can develop their areas economically also, and they can add value to the economic growth, and that can be done only with the help of the innovation. Another important point, lastly, I should say that the success of the researchers in US and Europe, especially our own Indians, is based on two things. One, that they have very good writing skills, and another thing is they are good in mathematics. So these two skills are extremely important for each and every teacher, not only in STEM, mathematical sciences, but also in arts, humanities, and languages. So so that they can integrate and do the better research. And another important thing is, whatever research, whatever thing we do, innovation we do, it should have a proper learning outcome, which we call it expected learning outcome for any activity. Like in our programs, whatever program we organize, we always highlight these are our expected learning outcomes, and we ensure that you learn and implement in your own institution. So with this, once again, welcome to our dignitaries, and welcome to all the participants who have joined us in large numbers and reposing faith in us. There are participants who says that we join each and every program of the Ramanujan College, and we have conducted about 50 programs. So that means they are not only doing it for their academic growth, but they are doing it for their personal growth. So with this, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for setting the tone to any program, like always. Today we have with us our special guest, Professor Ganga Bhushan, who is currently the head of the department in Department of Social Work at Assam University, as well as the program coordinator of NSS cell in the university. Having his expertise in social work and the allied disciplines, Professor Ganga Bhushan has been engaged in ethnographic and action research with the national think tanks and NGOs before joining the formal world of academics in 2004. His wide range of research interest is well evident in the research projects he successfully completed, which were funded by RG&IYD and ICSSR. Professor Ganga Bhushan has also participated and chaired a number of sessions, both nationally and internationally, and has a number of books to his credit, including his very interesting research, Books of Burden, Women in Brick Clean Industry in Barak, Assam Valley, which was published in 2011. On this note, may I request Professor Bhushan to share with us his musings or rather reflections with the participants. Professor Bhushan.
Yeah, thank you very much. Very good afternoon to all the participants. I'm very happy to join this inaugural session of the refresher course. I'm also very happy to be part of the larger vision, which is reflected by this kind of refresh course by Ramanujan College. So I'm very delighted to be part of this very good initiative taken up by Ramanujan College. The respected dignitaries present over here. First of all, Dr. S.B. Agrawal, Director and Principal of Ramanujan College, Professor D.S. Yadav from Lucknow, and other dignitaries who are present over here, and the research scholars, faculties from different colleges, universities, and the student fraternity, and all the participants. First of all, I would like to congratulate the Ramanujan College and also to all the colleges or universities who are associated with this novel program. As rightly stated by Agrawal sir, this is a timely intervention. Most of the time, we feel that the problems are, we murmur with the problems, but problems sometimes give an opportunity. And this lockdown and contemporary crisis has given an opportunity to all of us, irrespective of time, irrespective of place, we are connected to each other. So this is one of the important opportunity I feel being part of this program. The second thing is I really appreciate the government of India, which has through Madan Mohan Malviya's program intervention on enhancing the skills of academia. So this is also a timely intervention from the ministry. And since we are getting on to MOOCs, we are getting on to online mode, and sometimes this crisis has given a compulsion. It's a mandatory on the part of all of us, like to shift over to online. Now from primary education to secondary, tertiary education, everyone, irrespective of their knowledge on technology, they have shifted more or less onto online. So this is very right intervention from the college, Ramanujan College, to reach out to many. As stated rightly by Agrawal sir, reaching out to the unreached. This is very important initiative. Most of the time, we always say that mainstreaming, and we sometimes some universities, some colleges experience the feeling of marginalization. So they are away from the central the mainstream programs. So education also, updating education and education related information is also very significant. So when we talk, when this is the era when we are competing with the world at large. So this is very important on the part of all the educational institutions, especially higher educational institutions, to be part of this program, so that, as I said, reaching out to the unreached. And second thing is how we can be relevant. Most of the time we see that educational institutions are significant. In other countries, educational institutions plays a significant role. They influence the policies. Most of the time, the policies are being analyzed by the educational institutions, the big universities. But in India, that trend is not yet developed. Educational research is confined to their libraries only. Most of the research is conducted for getting some award, for getting promotions. So when we talk about relevance, how our research is relevant, how our research is relevant to our own selves, how the research is relevant to our own students, how the research is going to benefit to our community, to our nation, to the world at large. The whole world is moving through very volatile nature now. So what kind of research we need to conduct is very important. And the educational institutions, their status and stature is determined by the nature and extent of research, how best they are doing research, how best they are using their research for the welfare of the people, how best they are using the research for bringing quality among the researchers. So relevance is something which we need to think over it. Most of the time, as stated by Agrawal sir, like many tools are available now in the era of globalization. Information is everywhere there. Now people may suffer from confusion. So what is important is, if right perspective is developed, they will be able to use right tools, right techniques to do the research. Sometimes researchers they experience confusion. They think that all the tools are needed. Oh, I'm not using this tool. Oh, should I use this tool also? So our approach sometimes becomes more tool centric. So right tools are used only when you have right perspective, when you have right understanding. Doctor is having all the medicine. Doctor is having knowledge on all the testings, but he will not go for prescribe all the medicine, because he knows that which medicine is effective, which is not effective. That comes only when you have comprehensive understanding, and this comprehensive understanding is important. Hello. This comprehensive understanding comes only when you have a aptitude of continuous learning. And the concept note of Ramanujan College also states that how to go beyond our own discipline, because we should come out from this horse view perspective. Whatever I say is right. Sometimes from my perspective, from my discipline, I may be right, but I should also have an ability to understand from others perspective. So that's how it is very important to go beyond our comfort zones. So try to understand the tools and techniques used by other, at least sister disciplines, so that whatever research is done, it is done more a kind of comprehensive, more an integrated way. We understand the things. And now the community, the whole society is expecting a lot from the higher education institutions. How do we meet their expectations? How do we meet their expectations? And how do we enhance our competencies every time? As I said, the learning is very continuous process. Competencies development not only of our own self, but also of our own students. And this competency development comes only through practice, only through practice, only through recapitulate what we have done, introspect how relevant our research is, introspecting how teaching learning is making a change in the mindset of the students. Like education's main role is to make changing agents. Dr. Radhakrishnan, he used to rightly state that in what way our teaching is going to empower our students, in what way our teaching and learning process is going to empower our own communities. So this is very important from the viewpoint of all of us, that we should be relevant to ourselves, and we should always think that in what way I am going to give value addition to existing knowledge of literature. Research, as most of the time research is, as rightly stated by Agrawal sir, it is something you are doing innovatively, something you are doing new, whatever has already been done. So what is important is, here this is the right time to introspect ourselves, that in what way we can make our research really qualitative, in what way we can make our interventions really effective, in what way we can be relevant to our own society. Let us hope that that all the higher education institutions, especially universities and colleges, need to be equipped with contemporary, current, latest information on research. And this is, I think, the first step from Ramanujan College to reach out to all, and somewhere we will reach the goal set by Ramanujan College, that we will be one day will become more relevant for our society, for ourselves, and for our students fraternity. With this, I wish all the participants to make use of this refresher course, not for seeking it as a source of certificate, but at least even after I'm very happy that some respondents they mentioned that I don't miss the courses conducted by Ramanujan College. So that means something they gain new out of it, and more than that, now online we have created uh, online interactive classes, interactive groups. So this will enhance our continuous mutual learning process. So with this, I really thank Ramanujan College, because we have done 4 or 5 programs in the recent past on skill development, on digital resource management, and on data analytics. So we have got very good feedback from all the participants, and they are expressing a lot. So based on their needs, we will continue to collaborate with Ramanujan College. I wish all the best to the program, and I wish all the best to all the participants. Thanks a lot to Ramanujan College and everyone to listen to me. Thanks a lot. Over to the organizer, please.
Thank you, Professor Ganga Bhushan. You have rightly mentioned that COVID has given us the opportunity, and also mentioned that we need to learn the right tools, as well as the interdisciplinarity and multidisciplinarity which we need in our research. And of course, empowering the community is our goal, and it should be the goal of each and every academia in the world, because the main focus should be of the education, that we should empower the community. And you rightly said that relevant, contemporary, and latest information should be available to each one of us. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. I suppose introspection is the crux for any research to start. Our chief guest for today is the head of the Department of Computer Science and Technology at the Institute of Engineering and Technology, Lucknow, Professor D.S. Yadav. Professor D.S. Yadav, beside serving as the head of the department, he has also served as the founder director of Rajkiya Engineering College, Banda, Pro Vice Chancellor, Uttar Pradesh Technical University, Lucknow, Director, Bundelkhand Institute of Engineering and Technology, Jhansi, and Chairperson, Department of Computer Science, South Asian University, New Delhi. Having a passion for technology since his childhood, Professor Yadav is an author of 4 textbooks in the area of computers and information technology, including the very bestseller Foundations of Information Technology, which was published in 2001. He has successfully supervised many PhD and MTech dissertations. His research contributions appeared in international journals and refereed conference proceedings published by Springer Verlag, Elsevier, and IEEE. Professor Yadav has delivered many lectures, keynote addresses in India and abroad, and has been conferred with Young Scientist Award by Government of Uttar Pradesh in 2003. Commonwealth Fellowship in the UK during 2004 to 2008, and a Distinguished Author Award of Federation of Educational Publishers in India at India Education Conference, New Delhi, 2008. On this note, it is an honor to have you with us, sir. May I please request you to deliver your address to the participants?
Thank you very much, madam, for this introduction. I would like to take this opportunity to thank Professor S.P. Agrawal, Principal of Ramanujan College, our distinguished academician, Professor Ganga Bhushan ji. Thank you very much for inviting me to share and express my views before the audience. I'm very happy to note what Professor Agrawal mentioned. This Technology Learning Center at the Ramanujan College is doing wonderfully well. Some wonderful contribution they have made. I'm very pleased to learn that more than 1,000 candidates, they have joined through YouTube Live. They have also done considerably well by training more than 1,000 teachers and so in the past. And that's a great contribution, I would say. Now, coming to the objective of this faculty development program, which is being conducted by the Ramanujam College in association with the Assam University Silchar on advanced research methodology. There is a lot to speak on, talk on research methodology, but I will confine to, during my talk, few areas, few things, specifically the online and the IT, how the IT and the technology that has come in a big way and which is not influencing the life of the common persons. They are also deep impact on how the research in the scientific areas and other areas are being conducted. I'll also focus on what is the need of the research, why the research is to be required, specifically about what Professor Ganga Bhushanji mentioned about the perspective and the relevance. That is really very important to understand. And finally, I'll talk about some of the tools which has become relevant, which were not that relevant earlier. Being in the academics in the last 25 or 30 years, the fundamental of the research, this still remains same. When we talk about the meaning of the research, in my own opinion, this is, in general, we can have an abstract, most abstract views can say, this is nothing but the search for the knowledge, search for the knowledge. And we can also think about the research as an scientific and systematic search for pertinent information on a scientific topic or some topic. And truly, for me, research is nothing but an art of scientific investigation, art of scientific investigation. So research methodology is, is the specific procedures or tools or technologies used to identify, select processes, and analyze information about the topic. Now, if I give an overall perspective, that is what my thinking is. We can always broadly, although this is not very specific, but broadly we can identify the areas in which the research is going on. I can, if I have to create a compartment, I can say one is the arts and the humanities. This is one of the area, right? If I say vertical. Another vertical is, this is in the science, the pure sciences, whether this is physics or mathematics or biological sciences or other areas of sciences. And there is another area which is more technical, say engineering and technology and the medical sciences. The need and the requirement, it varies. It varies. Nowadays, if we talk about the research, one is if you focus, this is in fundamental research, and another is in applied research. So it can be carried out in various areas, three verticals which I have just mentioned. Theoretically, talking about it, once you look at, when we talk about the fundamental research, you talk about the various principles and the concepts and the theories that has been proposed in the past years, maybe in this decade or in this century or even the older established concept. You need to revisit them given the situation nowadays with the advent, with the knowledge what you have. You can always make a contribution to the fundamental areas in this. There is no doubt about it. When you talk about the applied area, in all verticals, you can, many knowledge has already been generated, has been established, and applied research is finding out the ways how it can be used to solve the day-to-day problem or real-world problems. So this is application part. So coming down to this, let me tell you, when we talk about, I remember my old days when I was a student at IIT Kharagpur long back. It's more than 25 years or so. I remember at that time, how the perspective, the scenario has changed. Those time used to, in order to find out a relevant article, relevant search of the knowledge, you have to have in search to the uh, printed journals, going to the library and finding out the relevant article. From that time to the time now, a lot many things has changed. Lot many online repositories of the journals and the article. Now this is available on the line, and you should know, it is really very important to know how to fetch the correct information. The advantage is, certainly there is an advantage that the lot many things is available at the single click of the mouse. But one of the disadvantage which I felt is over information is also available. And sometimes this really becomes difficult to find out what information or what piece of data is relevant to your work or not. I remember uh, I had actually I worked in the European countries, specifically the UK, when I was a PhD student. I remember one of the discussion with my supervisor, and he said it is really important to understand, and this is a normal teaching, normally this is advice to the researchers, young researchers, that first you identify your interest. Interest is very important. Identify the interest, and then you make an abstract goal. Say, once you work for a PhD or supervised research specifically, what kind of outcome you're looking forward to have? What type of outcomes, if it is coming out, whether this will be addition to the knowledge, existing knowledge, or will you be developing some method which will in turn help developing the next generation solutions of things. Let me tell you, lot many things changed after 2000 when the technology, especially the information technology, has entered. And rightly mentioned, Abhi, I think Professor Agrawal has also mentioned about the example of the COVID. It is really important to understand. I'll take this as a reference. Nowadays, lot many areas has come up, lot many areas have come up, and which are being discussed. I will not like to discuss those things in the detail, but most of you are academician, you understand uh, computing and business, data analytics, business analytics, data science, health informatics, telemedicine, even the financial mathematics, financial engineering, artificial intelligence, and machine learning. It has come in a big way. People generally they think that the data science or artificial intelligence or machine learning, these are the baby of the computer scientists or the IT persons or technology person. My opinion is no, it is not. Now these are actually the tools, I would say. They they present lot many tools and methodologies which can be used not only in this area which I'm talking about, it can be used in the various other areas. Specifically, this is relevant to those who are thinking of the applied research. Nowadays, we are all aware, lots of data is being generated. Now, lots of data is available. And specifically in the last 20 years, you think of any discipline, even in the arts and humanities, this area, if you look at the pure sciences and the other related areas, in the engineering sciences and the medical sciences, lots of data is being generated. And it is now become very important for the young researchers to look at the method, how this data can be analyzed, how this data can be used, and how this data can be used for the predictions. And that is actually the very important part of the research. One should keep this thing in mind. Uh, if I look at the research, or what is important is there are two very important aspects. One is the content, and another is communication. Content and communication. There has always been a debate about the quality versus quantity, quality and quantity. I'll talk about it. But whenever a new knowledge is generated, naturally there has to be substantive content into it, quality of the content. This is indeed, and there is no alternative to this. Content and the generation of the quality content and the knowledge, this is indeed important. There is nothing, no doubt about it. But the communication now, this has also become a very important thing. For example, if we generate some good piece of knowledge, which is of extremely relevance uh, to the areas or possibly for generation of next generation tools or in the real world application. But if you are not able to communicate it well to the scientific community and the other related community, possibly the purpose is forfeited. So content and communication, both of the things are extremely important. Uh, for example, in the COVID, one of the best example I usually talks about the COVID platform. So many of you might have visited. I understand all of you are academician and working. Uh, John Hopkins University, they came up with the complete platform and for the COVID. And you can find out various regions, various factors, for example, in what community, how this COVID is affecting, how this is responding, what are the statistical parameters, say R factors, how this is spreading, how this is being contained, what strategies that has been evolved, that has been implemented by the government or the bodies, how they have controlled the spread of the COVID, whether the spread is in one area or one geographical areas like this. So lots of statistics, and that has been presented beautifully over this platform. It is available. So whole idea is lots of data is there, and it is not just the medical scientists are there before this portal. People or the researchers from various areas, they are contributing to it. And once the data is generated, it is all about the researchers how to make the best use of it so that the right information goes to the common public, to the specific research community, whether this is medical or the bio researchers or the technologists, and they make use of it for the welfare of the society. So this perspective is very important. With the perspective, I would like to say, when someone do the research, when they have an abstract thought in the mind and they try to implement it, it is really very important to understand how this is going to be beneficial to the scientific community in the area you are working, as well as at the same time, and this is usually the philosophy in the Western researchers, they think how it is going to help the common person, how it is going to have an impact in the real world. One should have a perspective like this as well. Whatever you are doing, whether you are working in the arts and humanities, these verticals, or the pure sciences, or the engineering, or the medical sciences, or any other area, whether you are into the fundamental research or the applied research, giving this all attributes, one should always think about how my research, my work, if my thoughts are implemented, how it is going to be used in the real world, how the common man will be benefited, how the society is going to be benefited. This is a very important aspect. Every researcher this should have in the back of the mind. Now, coming to the one of the specific things that I would like to discuss, due to invent in the technology, lot many tools they have been developed which were not there. Those who have did their research or started research way back in the 70s or in the 80s or maybe in the early 90s, because after the mid 90s, the technology or the IT has started, it's coming into the society. Before that, the things used to be different. different in the sense, I remember when people used to write the research papers or the article using the typewriters, it's not very old, it's only 30 years back. Then this invent of the tools, the typewriter or MS Word, and not many tools that have come up for the purpose of writing. But I'm very happy to note that in this course, some knowledge on the LaTeX is going to be imparted. Now, LaTeX, this is an editing tool, and this is outstanding well. One should not think of this is a tool for the editing or the drafting to be used by only the scientific community, specifically in the engineering sciences or the other one. Now this has to be used. Majority of the journal, if I say the Elsevier or the Springer or IEEE, specifically in my area, in other areas, yes, there are very important journals. Now they have started taking the script. If it is drafted using the LaTeX, it is treated as an sign of a work of an established researcher. So LaTeX is something great. In addition to this, many research tools for the data collections. There are software tools which are available for the data collection, the analysis of the data, for prediction to be made on the basis of the data. Lot many tools are available, and these tools help you to identify what is relevant, what identifying the piece of the relevant data and producing the relevant information. So in the scientific area, the SPSS is one of the tools, the MATLAB, the Stata. So lot many tools are being used. It is really important wherever required, it should be learned because there is no difficulty in the researchers, those working in the other verticals, even in the arts and humanities, they are also able to make the use of these tools. Uh, Lots of tools like ANSYS and the AutoCAD in the design that is being used. So this helps you to have a quick and rapid designs of the design patterns. Now, let me tell you, these tools are nowadays very user-friendly and not lots of programming skills are required. And normal logic, I would say the common sense is enough to handle with the tools, these tools nowadays. Uh, with the invent of the artificial intelligence and the machine learning, let me tell you, AI earlier used to be in an area of computer science, no doubt about it. But theoretical concept in the AI is one thing, and the application of the AI using the tools, this is one thing. Many researchers I have found, I have encountered, without knowing the theorems or the technical knowledge which is required in the artificial intelligence, lot many researchers in the other discipline, they are making wonderful use of machine learning algorithms or machine learning. Don't be afraid of these terms. These nowadays, the tools are very extremely user friendly. Two languages which has very recently come up, people usually talk about it. One is the R and another is the Python. The Python, don't be afraid of the terms and say Python or the R. For many researchers, it looks like some alien word. No, don't be afraid. The R and the Python, this is what you can do with the Excel. People used to use the MS Excel, if you remember. Many researchers they use. Now they are slowly switching towards this and finding it ease of use using the R and Python. Some minor training is required, but they nowadays has come up an extremely and wonderful tool for the data and data analysis. So I would urge, don't don't think these are the terms or the technologies to be used by the computer scientists or information technologists. No, it is not the case. Now these technologies are available for the use of researchers in almost all area. So in discussion with the supervisors or the mentors, the researchers should find out what technology, what technology is best suited in order to carry out the scientific research or the research in the other verticals. So with this word, I would certainly address one more thing to the young researchers, those who are joining the PhD programs, because usually research methodology is addressed to them. Remember one thing, usually when we talk about a typical PhD research, this is nothing but a training. PhD is not a certificate. Never think this is a certificate that one has become an established researcher. Actually, this is an essential training. And after the completion of the PhD, one candidate is considered, the candidate is considered to have entered into the field of academic research. And he has a training that he can do the research. So specifically, if we count the PhD as a 3-year or the 4-year program, I remember my discussions earlier. In the very first year, a student or the candidate should focus on identification of the problem, and before that, the identification of the interest. One should find out what their interest lies. Interest is extremely important. If you are not interested, if you do not have a flair for that area, possibly the research is not going to be meaningful. Research is something which should be enjoyed, So identification of the interest is important. And after that, the formulation of the problem. Nowadays, we talk about on the problem, defining the problem. Once you have defined the problem, defined the scope of the problem, you say half of the battle is done. Finding out the solution nowadays with the technology is not a difficult thing. Identification of the problem is a real challenge, and where the supervisor and the research team, they have to sit together and possibly after learning through the journals or the papers or the article, the recent article, they should find out what is best and that can be used. So nowadays it is important, once you identify the research, identification of the software tools, if I say computer assisted quantitative data analysis software. So this is a range of the software. Identify what tools will certainly help you to expedite your work, to analyze and to predict the thing. Similarly, after 1 year, the supervising team, the candidate should be able to expand the ideas, to bring in the new ideas. And at the later stage, it is said the researcher's internal motivation or internal concept, if he has something in the mind, let me apply to my work to this area or the other area. And that is the reason nowadays interdisciplinary research is coming in a big way. Fundamental research, they have certainly that has an importance, no doubt about it. But when we talk about the applied research, essentially we talk about the interdisciplinary area. Nowadays, doing work confining to only one area possibly is not going to help. You have to, one should be ready, mentally ready to get in the ideas coming out from the various streams. So that is going to create a meaningful research. So formulation of the problem is extremely important. And indeed, I'm sure in this course, lot many things are going to be covered on the data collections. Data visualization is important. So for that purpose, I was looking forward to have some tools, for example, in the how the quantitative data analysis or data prediction tools that can be used. Some kind of training, I think maybe from the next time, or maybe in this course, I'm sure some of the talks that will be covering about it, the data visualization tools for the quantitative data analysis. Data analytics itself has become an important area, let me tell you. As I mentioned earlier, data science, data analytics, and using this analytics in the business or the finance, this has become a very, very important tool. So I would say if at the PhD or the young researchers, those who learn these tools at this stage, I'm sure they will be able to apply at the later stage of solving the real world problems. And that is very important. So with these words, I think we are running out of time. Uh, I would say this program is going to be extremely meaningful. I'm sure most of the talks that will be delivered in the 2 week, they will be covering lots of topics. Think about it, learn about these tools, and I'm sure this is going to help you out at the later stage. So with this words, thank you very much, the organizers, Ramanujam College, specifically Professor Gawal, for having me at the inaugural session of this program. Thank you very much, and over to the organizers.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Professor Yadav. Dr. Agarwal has to leave because of some urgent work. But thank you so much. I think your lecture quite enriched us about the important aspects which one should keep in mind while initiating a research, or even while we are in middle of research. And true that we need to come up with ideas, and we need to keep up with the technological pace which is growing rapidly today. So thank you so much for being with us and for very graciously accepting our request to be the chief guest. It was indeed a very reflectory lecture, which has kind of given the participants an introductory framework to begin with this 2 week refresher course. Thank you. Okay, so to move forward, to kind of yes, I request Dr. Ashish Kumar Shukla to spell out the specificities of this faculty development program and refresher course for a very to make this program a bit smoother, for smooth functioning of this program. Dr. Ashish Kumar Shukla.
Thank you, Shukla ma'am. As we understand that there could be a lot of queries regarding the course, assignments, and things related to FDP. So based on our experience of conducting these programs and the feedback by participants, we have made an exhaustive FAQ, which is available in the LMS portal. Kindly go through the FAQ for general information. And other thing we want to emphasize upon that every day the modules will be available. Please note down, every day the modules will be available on the portal itself. You will have to log in with your credential to access them. We cannot send any individual mails regarding this. If there is any announcement or information, it will be communicated through the official Telegram channel. Please keep a tab on the developments in the channel. Further, attempting and submitting all the quizzes and assignments are mandatory, and each participant should score a minimum of 50% in total avail of the program compulsion certificate. Please note that graded certificate will be awarded only on the basis of their performance. Apart from this, we request you to kindly fill the daily feedback forms, which is mandatory for us. As part of the Ministry of Education's requirement under PMMT scheme, all participants need to submit online feedback for each session. We hope that these rules will be followed for better experience of FDP course. So, and lastly, sorry to say that failing to meet any of the above condition will result in denial of a certificate of completion of the participants. So I hope everything is clear now. Happy learning. Thank you so much. Over to you, Shipra.
Thank you, Dr. Shukla. I hope the participants kept in mind all the rules and regulations which Dr. Shukla spelled out. So we have reached the culmination of this inaugural session and the beginning of our learning experience for the next 2 weeks. So to deliver a formal vote of thanks, may I please invite Dr. Nikhil Kumar Rajput, Program Director of this course, to deliver the vote of thanks, formal vote of thanks.
Thank you, Shipra. So let's start with the session, and let's start with this FTP today, this refresher course. I would sincerely express my thanks to our guest speakers today, Professor Ganga Bhushan, HOD Department of Social Work, who deliberated on the importance of research and how it can be used for the welfare of the people. So you rightly said any research will not be that much useful if it is not it is do not affect and do not impact the society in the right way. So thank you, sir, for your guidance about this. I would like to express my sincere thanks to Professor D.S. Yadav, HOD, Department of Computer Science, IET Lucknow, who deliberated on the need of research, relevance of the tools, and what type of information which are important for your research. And he just deliberated on several things which are very relevant to the young researchers. So for your information, sir, we are going to cover most of the topics which you mentioned, like we will have a session on LaTeX especially, and all the sessions, most of the sessions are hands-on. So not that theory, only hands-on session mostly, and we are going to give assignments to the participants so that they can practice it. If they have any doubt, they can put it on discussion forum, and we will take care of that also. So most of the sessions are, we are also going to have visualization tools, so that any participant who have the data, for example in the social science area, they can use those visualization tools which are very easy to use without any technical coding language like which is required in R and Python. So we are taking care of that, sir, and we are really glad that you have just mentioned so many things in in this short span of time. So we are really thankful to you, sir. And one more information, sir. We have we have research development cell in our college, and we are now collaborating with institutes like AIMS, Sabdajang, Forest Research Institute, where we are providing the consultancy service for applying machine learning on their data. So we have published paper with FRI in which we have collected the data of cellulose, and we have applied machine learning, and we have published the paper on that also. So we encourage these things to our participants that they should use these all things also. So thank you so much, sir. I would like to express my thanks to our principal, sir, and director of TLC, Dr. Professor S.P. Agrawal, who is, he continuously motivates us. He never says no to us. Whenever we reach out to him, he always encourages us to, yes, please go ahead and just have it, anything. So we are very lucky to have such principal in our college. I would like to thank our collaborator, Assam University, Silchar, and the coordinator, Professor Gangabhushan, Aditi, and our team in our college, Dr. Ashish, Dr. Sachin, Vipin Rathi, Shipra, and also Dharminder. So, and I would like to also thank our research staff, Rajesh ji, Nidhi, Akhil, Prashant, and all the technical support which we have in our college. And I would also like to thank the participants because we have received a lot. We are close to 2,000 participants. So this is a very huge number, and we are very enthralled to have this number of participants, and we hope that we will just keep we will just give them something which they can apply to their research. Few announcement before I just we just end up with the session, that since we got requests from several participants that they still want to register for this workshop. So we are opening this registration till tonight, so you can register till today till 12 p.m. tonight, and you can ask your colleagues that if they want to register for this course, because we have the platform OpenEdX which can tackle more than 20-30,000 participants, so we don't have that issue. And the first session, the first recorded sessions, and one more thing, we will have we the most of the sessions are recorded sessions, so you don't have to take NOC, or you don't have to take leave from your institute, so you can go with these sessions. You will have 24 hours to see those sessions, so you can go through those sessions in the night, but you will have to submit the assignment and quiz for that, which will be considered, which is going to act as your attendance also. Okay, so the first recorded session will be available tomorrow morning after 6 a.m. So because the registration process is still going on, and participants are also registering to the platform, so we will start with the first recorded session tomorrow morning. We know that tomorrow is Sunday, but still, because since the registration is still going on, the first session will be on from tomorrow 6 a.m. And if there are live sessions, that we will be only on Sunday. So all those sessions will be recorded sessions. The sessions will be if there are live sessions, then it will be on Saturday or Sunday. So you don't have to worry about that, and you can go through these sessions afterwards also if you miss it. Okay, so that's it for today. I hope you will enjoy this course, and if you have any feedback, if you have any query, you can put it on discussion forum. We will try to resolve as much as we can. And if you have any doubts special for registration and other things, you can uh, just write mail to us. Okay, and that's all. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Over to Shipra. Okay, and we can end the session to that.
Thank you so much, everyone, for being here, and happy learning, everyone. Thank you.